Coming up on the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener podcast. Joey and Holly will talk about tin foods you can store without electricity, our garden tip of the week, our vegetable of the week. We're always prepping for good and bad events, as well as repurposing and reusing everyday items. Our guest this week, she is the host of the SurvivalMom.com, Lisa the Survival Mom. The link will be live in the show notes August 29th at 6 a.m. Central Standard Time on BePreparedRadio.com and downloadable from iTunes. Sponsored in part by DollarSeed.com for your flowers, vegetables, and herbs. All organic seeds, all only $1 a pack. DollarSeed.com. And by WillowSpringsSoap.com. Handmade soaps with simple, recognizable ingredients, making soaps using the cold kettle process while using traditional methods. WillowSpringsSoap.com. The Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener now has a product line, from t-shirts to sweaters to cups to bumper stickers and hundreds of other items with their likeness. Go to WisconsinVegetableGardener.com and click on TWVG product under the scarecrows on the right-hand side. Welcome to the Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Extra. I'm Joey Barrett. If you don't have a lot of space to grow your own produce, it's not a big deal. You can grow a lot of food in a small space like we have here with our 180 square foot garden. But what if you don't have the availability to have a ground garden? What do you do then? Well, there's a lot of produce you can grow in containers on a porch or a balcony, like we're going to take a look at right now. So if you don't have a lot of space to grow produce, or you have no ground to grow them in, there's a lot of options you can use, like we have here on the porch that we're growing some produce in. Now, you've seen us make our milk crate container, and it's got a nice sunflower in it, it's got beans coming out of the side, and even some kohlrabi. We've got some basil planted there. The okra didn't do so well, but that's a leek there. We harvested already some onions and some radishes, and we'll put some more radishes in for fall harvest. Along next to the milk crate, we've got a container full of cilantro, as well as some flowers that have naturally come up since we reused some of the potting soil. They're fine, no big problem with that. And here's our little hanging soda bottle that we've got carrots in. The nice thing about carrots, you can eat the bottom, the roots, as well as the greens. They're not the tastiest, but they are good to throw in a salad. We got some Swiss chard in a container. Now, with any of these containers, I usually add about a half a cup of coffee grounds every 2 weeks to give a lot of nitrogen in the soil. We also have our bag of potatoes, courtesy of the ideal from our good friend Larry Hall up in Brainerd, Minnesota. Each week we have a new segment on the show. It's our Facebook featured page of the week. And this week our featured Facebook page is Wisconsin Preppers United. It is a group page that you can join, designed to bring people together with information for economic downfall, if a natural disaster happens, to give information to one another so we can be more prepared. It's not for political discussion, but to unite people together so we can be ready for whatever may happen. So we've got our cucumber plant here that we constructed out of the top of a water cooler container. We didn't steal it, we found it. And we did that in a show a couple months ago. We'll put that in the link of the show notes so you can see how to construct one. It's our cucumber tower. It's doing very well, got a lot of buds on it. We even have a cucumber there. It's going to be ready in a couple days, maybe a week. And even it's getting out of control and growing across the porch here. And it's got a lot of buds and a lot of baby cucumbers on there. So it's a very successful project that I came up with. So even if you don't have the space in the ground to grow them, you can grow them on your porch just like we are. On the other side of the porch, we have our dwarf lime tree. Now, every 2 weeks, I put about a cup of coffee grounds in the soil to give it a good nitrogen boost to get a lot of green foliage on it. Now, if you're going to get a dwarf lime tree such as this, you want to be aware there's a lot of thorns on it. So just be aware of that if you're thinking about purchasing something like a tree of that nature. Now, in our container that hooks onto our railing, we've got bush beans, and they're doing very well. It got a lot of big bean pods on. We're going to harvest them. It's going to be a good meal. As well as in our cage with our Blue Lake green beans, got a large pods on them, doing very good. Got some yellow leaves on it, not a big deal. We continue to put some coffee grounds. There's some powdery mildew on those as well. And then we've got our two miniature tomato plants that we've got in our hanging pots. They do put on some tomatoes, not a whole lot, but it gives an extra couple of tomatoes to eat if you're on the go. So even with a minimum amount of space, you can grow a lot of produce. And even if you have a ground garden, this would be a great project for the youngsters in your life to get them involved in growing. It's easy access from the house. They don't have to do really virtually any weeding. Just keep the plants watered and give them something to look forward to at the end of the season. I'm Joy Barrett, and this has been a Wisconsin Vegetable Gardener Extra. For more organic gardening, visit the WisconsinVegetableGardener.com.